Gemma. So I've received a question from a mother asking about the protection for her children from various spiritual attacks. When especially the children seem to be traveling, they seem to pick up all sort of negative, no buri nazar, as they say, and it seems to make them sick often and all of that. So, first of all, for a sadhaka, the sadhana of the sadhaka protects the entire family, especially the kavach. Generally, if it is not working and you find that you are frequently getting affected, then you must understand that most likely you are in the practice of multiple deity forms. You have not yet started actual sadhana where you have understood your Ishta and you are walking in that path. If this is the case, then no matter what, you will never be truly protected by your own sadhana because it is diversified into multiple forms. There is a lot of confusion. So sadhana can only happen when there is an ishta, right? Otherwise, it is upasana. So external protections would be required for somebody like that. That is when you have all these pujas, prayogas, and all of that to protect from certain negative entities, negative impacts, shatrus, and all of that. But for a sadhaka, and especially for a Ma Kali Sadhaka, any kavach you do will have proper protection from day one itself, provided you are a sadhaka of Ma Kali, right? And if you're a Bhairav sadhaka, you have a Bhairav kavach, it will start protecting from day one, but it is perfected by around 3 years. 1,000 days is the minimum, so 3 years roughly. Right? If you take the kavach from somebody who's already realized in the path of Ma Kali, example ke liye, it can work for any specific form, but it should be a rishta, right? So somebody who's already realized in that path, when you take a kavach from them, and it also has the bija mantras, those bija aksharas have the prana of that Guru Parampara itself, and it will have its own level of protection that it gives. So first thing, if you think you're a sadhaka or upasaka, but your sadhana shakti is not protecting your family, so number one, see whether you are in a multi-deity worship. That is always going to keep you dependent on an external sadhaka or an external guru figure who will have to then perform vidhis to protect you, and you will have to do all of that externally. You will have to depend on a sacred thread, you will have to depend on sacred malas, you will have to depend on sacred spaces, right? But if you are a sadhaka, the space itself, your asana itself, is the temple of that specific deity alone, the ishta. So if you are not in that multiple deity worship and you are focused on one specific deity only, your own sadhana and your own kavach will protect from day one. The kavach is further activated if it is taken from somebody who is further realized in the Kali path. Example. Kali here is this example, right? But again, you cannot be a Narasimha Upasaka and you take kavach of Ma Kali and start doing it. Even no matter how realized Kali Sadhaka is, it will not function. Because there is a mismatch of deities, mismatch of mantras, mismatch of the form, the visualization, everything is a mismatch, right? So if your sadhana is not protecting, then probably you must realign and check whether you are in the right path, your ishta is correctly identified, and you are brutally holding on to that specific path no matter what. If this is the case, then the sadhana itself will protect. The kavach, even if it is not taken from anybody else and you yourself have randomly taken it and started doing it, but you are full time in the sadhana of that form, it will protect. So if your family seems to be getting affected easily and quite often, check if there is a misalignment on ishta. Right? You could be trying to take mantras from a Kali Sadhaka, but you might be worshipping Narasimha. You could be worshipping Sri Krishna. Right? The form is different, though ultimately it's all her, but the form that you are invoking is different. So is there a misalignment with the one that you consider the Guru and the sadhana that you do? Is there a misalignment with the multiple forms that you worship? Is there a misalignment with the form that you call somebody who is worshipping a specific form, but you Ishta is somebody else, some other form? All of this will have multiple problems that show up in the proper assimilation of the pranic flow, and it will not protect your environment at all. Ideal scenario, you have a guru, you have taken mantras from their teachings, you are listening to them, you take mantras from them and you do it, and then you take any kavach of the same deity, it will always begin protecting from day one itself. Siddhi might take 1,000 days to 3 years, right? Siddhi will take time, but protection starts from day one. So if you find, especially a Kali Sadhaka, and your family is getting sick regularly, realign and check whether you are in the right track. Right? You do not need any external protection. You do not have to go anywhere. You don't have to procure things. That said, you might now ask, what about the malas that we ourselves have given? Karungali mala is again empowered by your own sadhana. Basic consecration only is done, right? And the wood itself is empowered by Skanda, Murugar. And post that, it is your sadhana that is powering your yantra there and empowering the Karungali too. It is just an added protection. Again, it is your sadhana that powers it, right? So this is how it works. So believing that if you go to the kshetra, if you believe that you go to this person, you will find additional protection, then you are not yet entered the sadhana mindset. So if you find the family, property, animals that you have is not being protected, then please check whether you are in you got two legs in different boats. Ma Pratyangra sadhana on one side, then Ma Tara sadhana on one side. Then which deity's form is supposed to sit and protect you, right? Which the sum total of all the sadhakas who do sadhana, it creates an energy body of the deity. So when you also do the sadhana of that specific deity, that specific energy body begins to protect you across the globe, right? But when you start, say you are in Ma Pratyangra sadhana, but your guru is from the path of Ma Tara, and your guru is also well versed in that path, but your Ishta is Ma Pratyangra. So which energy body are you pulling? So align and check whether you are correctly in track as far as your Ishta is concerned. If your Ishta is properly identified and you are also truly walking in that path with no mismatch in the form, then definitely from day one of the Kavach recitation, you will find protection. By the 1,000 to 3 years time span, you will find that the siddhi of the kavach is also attained, which means the kavach can still be used for various prayogas by itself to protect you, and it is like a weapon, right? So check, reassess and realign the self towards protection of the family instead of going here and there and trying to find ways out. Jai Ma.